Hi, my name is Mrs. Lay. I'm a second grade teacher here at Harvie Elementary School. Welcome to our second grade class. Today we're going to be talking about landforms, specifically United States landforms. All right, kiddos. We've been working on our landform skills in social studies for the past couple of weeks. Let's talk about some of the landforms that we remember, the water-based ones and the land-based ones. Can I have some hands? Give me a couple that we remember from our posters that are on the focus wall. Chase, give me one. Mountains. Lakes. Rivers. Islands. Oceans. Hills. Lakes. Help them out. Plains. Okay, we remember a lot of our different landforms. Specifically, we moved into the United States, and we started learning about a couple very, very, very specific ones that we could see here in the United States, which is where we live. You can see that on our landforms map, I erased the labels of the ones that we were working on. We've got some mountain ranges, we've got some lakes, we've got some rivers. Our labels for the oceans stayed there so that we know that we have our Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. But now I need some brave friends to come back up and help me relabel our map. And remember, our spelling is right here. Okay, Anadia, brave friend number one. Come on up and label a mountain or ocean or lake or river of your choice. And then tell your friends which one you did. So she chose one of the rivers. And Nadia, tell us what river you decided to relabel. The Rio Grande. We know that's all the way down here near Texas, and it flows into the Gulf of Mexico. Good. And Nadia, calling a friend to label another one of our landforms. Chase, good friend. Come on up. Brave friend number two, choose another landform to label. Remember, your spelling is right next to you. Choose a landform. Ooh, good choice. The one that you worked on with your project. He chose one of our mountain ranges. And what mountain range did you choose? The
Rocky Mountains.
The Rocky Mountains. You. Okay, you can just keep it at that. That's okay. N. S. Good man. Choose another brave friend to label one of their landforms. 3, 2, 1. Good friend to choose. Third brave friend, come on up and label one of your landforms that has not been labeled just yet. Ooh, this is a long one. She chose the river, but specifically what river? The
Mississippi River.
A lot of S's in that one. M-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. Oh. I-S-S-I-P-P-I. You can just write Mississippi River. Good. All right. So far we've got the Rocky Mountains labeled, our Rio Grande, and our Mississippi River. We are missing our lakes at the top and one more mountain range. So call on a friend, Tabitha. 3, 2, 1. All right, Hayden. Label one of the other ones for us, either the lakes or our last mountain range. And Hayden chose to label our lakes at the top. Can somebody raise your hand and tell me how many of those lakes are at the top? Lavad, do you remember how many lakes are at the top?
5.
5 Great Lakes. Okay? And we learned that all of those lakes are what?
Connected.
Pushed together or connected. They all touch each other, which is pretty cool. K-E-S. Awesome. Good job. All right, and our last mountain range is the hardest one to spell, so I'm actually going to spell it, but I would like a brave friend to tell me what that mountain range is called. The what, Malay?
Appalachian.
The Appalachian Mountains. A-P-P-A-L-A-C-H-I-A-N. And I'm just going to write mountains. Okay, so we did learn about our 5 landforms within the United States, including our Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. So today what we are going to do is something super fun and exciting. We are going to make edible maps.
Yay!
Okay, so So, before we start our edible maps, we need to fill out our map key so that we know how to use these pieces and what we'll be using them for. Okay, we know that map keys tell us the different parts of a map, so this is telling us the different parts of our edible map. Okay, so raise your hand and tell me what you think our Swedish fish will be used for. Our Swedish fish. Tabitha, what do you think our Swedish fish would be used for?
The landforms.
Where do we see fish? In the ocean. Okay, so we'll probably be using them for the oceans. And what are those 5 great things at the very top of our map, Elijah?
The Great Lakes.
The Great Lakes. So we'll be using our Swedish fish for the oceans and lakes on our map. Let's talk about our chocolate chips. Monasia, what will we be using our chocolate chips for? The what?
Mountains.
The mountains. Chocolate chips have those big tops to them, so we know that we're going to be using those for our mountain ranges. And tell me how many mountain ranges we have in the United States that we've been focusing on. Raise your hand and tell me. Cherish. 2. Thank you. The Rocky Mountains and the Appalachian Mountains. Then we've got some licorice. Remember we talked about that pull and peel licorice, so we'll be using it for the what? Tell me, Justice.
River.
The rivers. Good. Okay, so now we won't have any confusion of what we'll be using our pieces for on our map because we've got them labeled with our map key. So we know that we'll be using our Swedish fish for oceans and lakes. We know that we're using our chocolate chips for mountain ranges. And our licorice for the rivers. Good. All right. I would like you to stand up quietly. We are going to make our way back to our seats. Let's see which table can do it the quietest. Okay, so at your seats, you have your map that we're going to be using. If you feel that paper, we see that it's a little bit thicker than the paper that we're used to so that it can hold our candy on it. We are going to be using goopy white glue, so that means we have to dot, dot, dot. Thank you. And you also have your candy baggie next to you. We just did our map key. We talked about the different pieces that we're going to be using and where those are going to go. So we're going to start with the very top of our map key. We've got our Swedish fish. I would like you to take out 1 Swedish fish, and you need your glue. 1 Swedish fish, and you need your glue. We're going to start with our oceans. Raise your hand and tell me, what ocean do we live closest to? What ocean do we live closest to? Ayana, please tell me with a nice loud voice.
The Atlantic Ocean.
The Atlantic Ocean. I'd like you to take 1 of your Swedish fish, put 2 dots of glue on the back, and we are going to glue it right near our Atlantic Ocean. Make sure that you're not gluing it over your label so that you can still see what the ocean is called. The Atlantic Ocean. The Atlantic Ocean. Remember, the one that we live closest to. We can find Virginia, and you can find your Atlantic Ocean. Mine's right on the board, baby. Good. I'm seeing dot, dot, not a lot. Good, Elijah. Good. And once you've glued down that Swedish fish, you can get out your second Swedish fish, and you can tell me when you are ready what ocean is on the other coast that we do not live near. Right here near Atlantic Ocean. There you go. Raise your hand and tell me, Nadia, what's the other ocean on the other coast that we're going to put another Swedish fish for? The Pacific Ocean. So take your next Swedish fish, dot, dot, not a lot, and put it on your other coast. Make sure you're putting enough so it stays. Good. I see some friends using some different strategies, gluing on the paper or gluing on their Swedish fish, whichever you choose to do. Good. And then we also said our Swedish fish would be used for our lakes. Raise your hand and tell me, what lakes am I talking about? Levi.
The Mississippi.
Oh, that's Mississippi River. Can you fix? Yep.
The 5 Great Lakes.
5 Great Lakes. Good man. Take out a third Swedish fish. And you are going to dot, dot, not a lot, and place it right over our 5 Great Lakes. You can see that the label is up there for you, Great Lakes. Good, Preston. All right, so moving back to our map key, we finished all of our oceans that we're going to be talking about. We glued down our Swedish fish for our Great Lakes. So we are going to be moving on to our what? Our mountain ranges. Moving down on our map key, okay? Mountain ranges. This is going to get a little tricky because you can see that we have 2 different mountain ranges and a lot of chocolate chips. Okay? So, let's talk about the mountain range that is closest to Virginia first. Raise your hand and tell me which one is closest to Virginia. Which one, Nike? The Appalachian Mountains. Yes, take a finger and please point to the Appalachian Mountains on your map. What I would like you to do is you are going to get out 4 chocolate chips. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you are going to glue them right under the label of Appalachian Mountains that you see already on your map. You can see I already did it up on the board. You only need 4, ... Good. And we also know that the Appalachians run really close to where we live, and we could go visit them if we wanted to. Good, Andre. We're doing good over here at this table. Good job, guys. For my friends that researched the next mountain range, we know that these are much what? Much bigger and much wider, okay? So instead of only doing 4 for this mountain range, we're actually gonna do 6. So please pull out 6 more chocolate chips from your baggie. And I would like a brave friend to raise your hand and tell me what mountains I'm even talking about. Aiden, what mountains am I talking about? The what? The Rocky Mountains. The Rocky Mountains. I'm going to take 6 of my chocolate chips and glue them along the Rocky Mountains. You can glue them on top or below the label that says Rocky Mountains. And when you're finished with your mountain ranges, just take a quick look up at my map to make sure we look the same. We look the same. We're going to do it on both sides. Yes, ma'am. Good question. So now you should have your Swedish fish for your oceans and Great Lakes. You should have chocolate chips running along your Appalachian Mountains. And you should also have chocolate chips running along your Rocky Mountains. Just a little bit, right. And that's why we ... not a lot. Good. So then returning back to our map key, we can see that we've already done a lot of our map key already. We've already done our oceans and lakes with our Swedish fish. We've also already done our chocolate chips for our mountain ranges. So please raise your hand and tell me what's left. Dariana. Our rivers. All right. What I would like you to do is please pull out your very thick strings of licorice. We are going to work on this together. Because remember, I talked to you about it being pull and peel. Pull and peel. Okay. You can look at the top and you can see that you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces of licorice. What I would like you to do is you are going to pull off 1 string. Try to pull off 1 string. If it breaks a little, that's okay. Try to pull off 1 string of your licorice. Like Andre was saying earlier, it looks kind of like string. We're stretching it like our bubble gum. Okay? All right? So what we are going to do is we are going to start with our longest river in the United States first. Raise your hand and tell me, what is the longest river in the United States? Hayden? The Mississippi River. We are going to place our licorice along the Mississippi River first so that we can pinch it to see how long we need our licorice to be. You can see it starts all the way at the bottom and it goes almost all the way to the top. So I'm going to pinch it just as long as I need. Then once I've done that, I will take my licorice string up, put some glue along the Mississippi River, and place my licorice back down. Good job, Levi. Yep, so place it along your place it along your Mississippi River, and then you're gonna pinch it and pull. And then save your extra because this will be long enough for our next river. Good, Anadia. And licorice is kind of funky. It's not going to do exactly what you want it to do. So try your best to get it along your Mississippi River.
Got it.
Try your best. Good. And remember, save your extra because we're going to be using that for the next river.
Yeah.
My friends that are finished, find what river I am referring to and point to it. Find what river I'm referring to and point to it. Good, Taekwon. You're doing great. So wait a sec. Let's place it back down. We're a little long right now. So let's put it back and pinch. There we go. Save your extra and then go ahead and glue. And remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to make sure that we're understanding where this river is. And we know that we're using licorice for our rivers. So we know that the licorice stands for the Mississippi River in the middle. Good, Preston. That looks awesome. That's like perfect. Very cool. All right. And I see some of my friends still pointing to the next river that we're going to be talking about, the last river that we are going to be using on our edible maps. Please raise your hand and tell me what mountain I am referring to. Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Which river I'm referring to. Thank you. Elijah, which river am I referring to?
Rio Grande.
The Rio Grande. So please use your extra from the one string that you pulled, and you are going to place it along your Rio Grande and glue. Place it along your Rio Grande and glue. And remember, again, these are wiggly wiggly, so if it doesn't do exactly what you want it to, that's okay. You're doing great. That's okay. Still okay. Because remember, rivers run into the next water source, so it looks like it's going into it's perfect. Looks like it's going into the Gulf of Mexico anyway. And that's what we learned about it anyway. Yep, so glue all your pieces together. There you go. When you are finished, I'd like you to return your licorice back into your baggie.
Bye-bye, licorice.
See ya, licorice. Put your eyes and your ears on me for the next step of our directions after you've put your licorice in your baggie. Yes, Elijah, do you have a question? Okay, if you remember, please raise your hand. All right, I would like you to return your goopy glue back into your yellow basket. Make sure it is shut. No rush if you are still trying to glue down your rivers. And leave your edible map at your space with your candy baggie right next to it. And then I'd like all of my friends to stand up, push their chair in, and make their way back to our carpet. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed our lesson here today on landforms in our second grade class. Go Harvie Heroes!